Hello, welcome to the read for this week, or I guess like a few days. It covers most of the week. Um, and I'll do the moon read sort of the end of the week. Uh, I think it's not till Friday or Saturday that the solar eclipse and the new moon is in. So look for that, and we'll just cover. We're already a day into this week, so um, hopefully, too, there's a lot of construction going on outside. So hopefully it's not too noisy. Anyway, all right, let's just jump right in and take a look for this week. Don't know how you're feeling. Uh, I'm definitely finding these eclipse energies very difficult. They're difficult. There's lots of what I'm seeing is just, and even in my own family, is lots of news and changes and things, and like it's just like coming right at us. So, um, as always, do your best to kind of just stay in alignment, stay in good vibration. I know it's tough. There's lots going on. Um, but always remember, try to keep in the back of your head, like I do, that there's a purpose to all of this, and it might suck right now, but there's something coming, right? And that's so all of this kind of has to be sorted out, and for lack of a better word, the old way, right? Old energy and all of that has to systematically die, and that's what's happening. Um, yeah, but it's very intense, and it's rough. It's emotionally rough, right? It's just like, oof, I just, that's enough. But, but we're not quite out of it yet. And like, we'll feel again, we're going to feel those energies right up past Saturday. Who knows? It could last a couple of weeks. Sometimes people even say, all the moving and shaking doesn't really kind of resolve until the next set of eclipse season, which is, I think, this year in September. So, I mean, you know, I don't want to say that because then I'm the bearer of bad news of like, oh my God, we've got more of this to deal with. But it's kind of why we came here. So, we signed up for this. We'll take it day by day. And we'll make it through together. All right. So for this week, the high priest comes up. I am transcendent of time and space. I really feel like what this is like gearing us towards, though, is us paying attention to like the high priest and the magician and all of that, right? We all have really big esoteric knowledge. So I feel like what this card is saying is it's a remembering of who we truly are, what we're accomplishing, what we're trying to accomplish here. Um, sorry, got it. Yeah. Most people have seen the news, and that there's they're discovering structures beneath the Giza pyramids. Um, it's long been suspected there's more to the pyramids than we believe, whether they're an energy center, charging station for spacecraft. There's all kinds of um, uh, anyway, the big part of that, though, is that a lot of spiritual, I don't want to call us new agers, that's really don't like that word. Um, anyway, anybody who's getting into this and rediscovering the esoteric knowledge, um, it seems to correlate with the fact that it could be the halls of Amenti, which, if you want to go look that up, it's basically the hall of records of Atlantis and those times. And I've talked about this before, like Atlantis never fell into the ocean, like whatever there wasn't a cataclysm. It was a fall in energetic in frequency. So it fell from a 12th or 13th dimensional space into the third dimension. So, and it's, of course, in this third dimension, it's dense. It's really difficult for us to use our abilities because it suppresses them, right? It doesn't allow us to connect with them easily. But as we've seen over this last little while, that veil has been slowly lightening and getting removed. So, we are headed back to a more etheric, light body. Again, none of us know what that looks like, but I think the theme for this week is just to keep investigating, right? Like that, I feel like that piece, that finding out about the pyramid stuff, is just the tip of the iceberg. And then this is what, like when we talk about disclosure, what this really means is that if you think actually too, from the beginning of this year till this month, the amount of things we have discovered about this earth, what is true, who's like, what's going on, it's been pretty like full speed ahead. That's not going to obviously, I don't think, slow down any, because it is, we have to have all this knowledge out in front of us. I think this is just the first step in revealing to us what this planet's all about, and what we're all about, like as spiritual, uh, esoteric, if you want to use the word, or beings that have, you know, magic. So, okay, so that's the first step. What else is the theme of this week? I'm wearing my spirit animal fox shirt because I gotta go to work shortly here. Okay. Okay, we got the context card. Um, I always love this one for two reasons. It's just full of like the rainbow of chakra colors, like opening up to it all. The context, I always say, the dragonfly is near throat, so it has something to do with, again, yeah, I'm just gonna go out and say, like, there's way more disclosure coming this week. And again, I think we're just being not spoon fed it, slowly dripped so that it's more digestible and we're not just overloaded with it, because I think that would be bad. I mean, there are some people at some levels on this earth where it's going to overload them no matter what. But for us, it's like, okay, let's let's really flourish. And again, it's the young face too, so it has a lot to do with like our innocence, our inner child. Um, really getting the feeling this week is definitely about, um, kind of discovering the suppression of those things, which is good, because as soon as we can see them and we know them and we're like, I remember that, the easier it is for us to utilize those powers. So exciting. Okay, let's see. And I think that's probably been this point of this whole, eclipse season as well, is just to really like push the envelope on on like on highlighting the truth. So, oops, we got to it. Yep. I'm just looking at these cards going, they're just confirming what I just said. Okay. So first up is the Royal You. This is, for me, is always the card about, first of all, it's a solar plexus card. So it is continuing on that theme that we've sort of been working with, of our self-confidence, our self-worth, our self-belief. Um, and this is just to say, you are all that in a bag of chips. Is that what I want to say? No, but it's like this, we're golden, we're magical, we're, um, royal, regal. Royal, like obviously in this world, it's taken on a different term, and it's like a lot of people are put off by it, but this is like basically your highest self, right? And glorious self. So it's like starting to discover those this week. Um, it is a crown, right? A golden crown. It's actually interesting because I've been doing a little bit of like seeing videos on the chakras, and I was thinking maybe I need to do like a little chakra series, and we'll start with root and do a reading on it, and then go through the different ones. Maybe we'll start those as part of the energy read for the week, and I'll just pull out the cards from every deck that kind of represent, um, that whatever chakra we're working on. So we're just kind of reading from that. Um, it's a thought. I'm thinking. I think it needs to be done. The reason I'm saying this is that, again, I was getting into the petals of the chakras. I was watching things on um, Telegram and TikTok, and it's, people were saying, like, if we count the petals of each chakra on the visual of them, they add up to 144. So there's something about us aligning and our chakras and having them at an optimal functioning thing, that is what causes ascension, right? And so it's the same with this. Even though it's not a crown chakra card, it's saying it's time for us to get to crown. And crown is the 1,000 petaled lotus. And so basically, if you look at depictions of art and things like that, it's always like when you achieve enlightenment, your head is actually replaced by a lotus flower, meaning you have achieved the highest, energetically that you can get to. So I'm really being like pushed and drawn to like study the chakras more. I've been studying them my whole incarnation of like doing research and things like that. So I'm going to keep working on that. I think it's really important. We will do a chakra series, and we'll start that maybe even this Monday coming up as part of the weekly energy read. And then we can just go through 7 weeks of working on each chakra, and I can help you like tune into ways to attune them and raise their frequency, clean them out, i.e., letting go of things that aren't serving us, that kind of thing. All right. So, yeah, this week is about, once again, discovering our gifts, stepping into that high priestess role, high priest, high priestess, whatever you want to call it, and really starting to work our magic again. We also got the communication card, a throat chakra card, self expression, exchange, sharing, connection. There's that moon in there. So, that new moon coming up. Yeah, it's just like, I feel like, and even in conversations with clients and friends, it's becoming more commonplace to talk about this stuff, which is great. That's what we want to do. So this is just kind of a nod to like, don't hide behind the sidelines anymore. Start talking about this stuff with people and and planting seeds, not even necessarily to like have them come over to like your belief system. What I'm just saying is like, talk about these pyramids and the discovery, and it doesn't matter what that other person's opinion is of things, because you don't have to take that on, right? You don't have to be to subscribe to someone else's thing. We're just like, we need to have conversations around it, so we're talking about it, so that we're like, as a collective, we're starting to like be more open to the more information that's going to come, because it's going to come and it's going to be like we said, it's not, some of it's not pretty and some of it needs, but it has to come into the light and be shone on, or shone, the darkness has to be shone on, so we can move on. Like, this is a collective job. So like, yeah, now's not the time to go hide under the covers. And um, I think the big piece, look at that though, too, is there's that open lotus flower. I just saw that. So, yeah. And another thing, too, is like part of our magical abilities is the art of manifestation. We need to be speaking these things into existence. So, it's important that we're paying attention, we're aware, and we're just continually seeking knowledge. Chances are pretty good if most of us, like, the reason that this is so prevalent for us is that we were in Atlantis, we were part of that society. Um, what I've heard is that, like, this is the do over. And the reason it's so hard right now is because we see it kind of going the same way, where it's like, where, greed and that of power took over, and power was being used in inappropriate ways. And so the universe was like, nope, that's not what's happening. And so we were cast down, for lack of a better word, to a lower dimension. Some people survived it, some people didn't. It's really reminiscent energetically of what's happening right now. Um, But as far as I've gleaned in all my studies and information, this time, I don't want to call it winning, but this time we win, right? The light triumphs over the darkness. The darkness does not take over and rule this planet for 2,000 plus years and really mess everything up and create this density and stress and strain and just not a good thing. We're returning to the golden age, right? Okay, so we also got the Thunderbolt card, which is in the traditional tarot is the Tower card. So there's definitely still like again you always see people falling, but it's interesting on this one. The Tower is actually the human form in lotus position, meditating. So it's all the old structures falling away, things that are not serving us, that do not serve getting us to enlightenment. So, and Thunderbolt is just like it's pure energy coming in and shifting everything. So yeah, we always say there's tower moments. There's going to be a ton of tower moments in the next few months. So I know it's a lot, and I find I'm really struggling this past week to not just throw in the towel, which is really hard because like I know better, but it's just sometimes you just get to the point where it's just like enough already. Like when, right, Sam? When is it going to be enough? Like it's this is rough and it's not easy work and it's heartbreaking sometimes and it's discouraging. But, I just keep pushing through, which is funny. I'll read the last card and that's what I'm talking about. We also got the comparison card. So for me, this goes back to that communication we just talked about and being a part of it or like it's okay that one of you is bamboo and one of you is bark on the tree. We're still strong, steady trees. Um, we don't need to compare ourselves to each other. Yes, we're different, and that's okay. Um, but the end goal is the same for us all: is getting to this place of discovering our royal self. So somebody's gonna do it a different way. It's gonna look different for them. That's all this is saying is like don't compare yourself to others or where even if you're like I'm not anywhere in this process, I haven't even you probably know more than you think. I can guarantee you do. This is all just us really continuing to do the work and looking at like what are our abilities and really kind of diving into them as much as we can. The last card we got is the perseverance card, which I just said, like, I always say in this, it's like your spirit team has got your back. But look, this is us, right? This like, oh, I can't go on. I'm so tired. I've just, but the thing is that these are her wings, her butterfly wings coming in. They're not going away, they're coming in. And they're almost there. And the spirit is just saying, don't give up. Don't give up. We're so, so, so close, right? So you and it's okay. This is okay to feel sometimes. Like I just said to you, I've spent the last few days just kind of been like, I don't know. I don't know if can I go on with this? Like it's so much and it's so intense and it's not happy. It's very difficult, to find the joys in anything at the moment. Um, but this is the attitude I've been taking is I'm like, I'm not giving up. I've come this far. I'm not giving up now. That would be absolutely silly. I perseverance. That's going to be the title of this for the week is yeah, find whatever you need to do for yourself to find what it is that's going to keep you going. So, and even like when have those days down in the dumps, I spent a whole day there and but I pulled myself back out and said, like we can do better. We can do better, Kim. So let's do better. Anyway, I know I sympathize with everyone. It's tough right now. There's so much, even just like personally going on, um, out in the world that is affecting us. Like you can't ignore certain things. Like you may want to, but sometimes we just can't. So just keep swimming. Just keep going. It is going to be, there is better days coming. Um, and I always thought, I knew this period of disclosure, we always knew it wasn't going to be pretty, and it is tough stuff. Um, and so, yeah, it's just like we have to be as resilient as we can, and just do our best, you guys. Yeah. Ooh. Okay. So I just did a few Christ consciousness cards. I was going to uh, only do three, but four came out, so that's okay. But because they're really good. So these are some really good advice cards for like what we should be reaching towards. Okay, first of all, there's God's promise, the rainbow, the peace. The doorway is close. Again, just like the perseverance card, don't give up now. We're so close to this. It is happening. The open door, Christ within you. It's interesting because we also got the prayer card. So I'm going to read these two together. Contemplation and connection. There's that word again, connection. It's really, what can we do? What can we do to change our energy, to change the collective energy? We can meditate, we can pray. We just have to, that is our tool in all of this. Um, so it's like, it's almost like if we want things to get better, we have to put in the time and the space and the magic and the effort of the high priestess and do the rituals, the magic, the, like, we have to be in those states and getting into those states. So I would say, like, if you're like me and you're having that week, you're just like, I don't know, is like, go back to just go back to meditation, go back to prayer, go back to manifestation, and just like, let's just sit in those states and do our best to keep that frequency and vibration high. That's really our job and what we came here to do. So let's get cracking, everybody. So we also got freedom, which is just be you. Like this just comes back to what we were talking about. It's like, and the communication piece is, and the comparison piece is, we got to stop comparing ourselves to others, where they're at on the journey. We just need to buckle down and do our own work, and do it for the greatest and highest good of all, including ourselves. So it's just having that intention and getting into that mindset every single day. I know sometimes it feels like you're just sticking your head in the sand and you're kind of avoiding the outside world. And in a way we are, as we talked about this last time. Perspective wise, does that stuff really matter? We need to just step back and breathe, and but we have to change the energy, because it's just, it's, if we keep living in that other energy and distraction and we let it all get to us, then we are distracted and we are letting it all get to us and we're down in the dumps. And we're not able to, you're not able to tap into this. You're not able to tap into you, the royal divine you, and all your skills and magic that you have. It doesn't work. It's not possible. You have to be in the right frequency. So it's really important that we're looking at that stuff. I would say, like, from the cards, it just says like this. It's really critical right now that this is kind of where we hang out. We also got the Magi, right? The three wise men, the gifts, signs, and divine timing. So this coming right at the end of those four cards, it's like, be watching for the signs too. It was really interesting. About like a few years ago, there was a company. I don't even know what they did, but they had vans driving around the city, and they were called Arcturus. And I was just like, I kept seeing them all the time, and I thought, okay, that's really funny. But what I didn't really like realize is when I started to do some deep dives into like potentially what, like, what my star being connection would be, Arcturians kept coming up. And it just like really clicked and dawned on me the other day. I'm like, oh, they were trying to tell me that whole time, hey, this is like, it's just for information purposes. And it helps when you're doing these deep dives into the past and the halls of records, like the halls of Amenti. So we're just in interesting times. It's just really important that we're, I think, keeping our vibration really high. Yeah, okay. So, okay, we're just doing the golden futures and we'll leave this reading here. But the first one up is creativity. Sacral chakra. Actually, it's funny because the perseverance card is 100% sacral chakra card. The easiest way to heal sacral chakra is to birth something new. So do some creative work. Creative work can also just be like imagination work, right? This context thing, the inner child, playing, dreaming, pretending, believing. That's how we manifest too, right? Is like we need to spend more time creating the new, even though we don't know what it is, right? Um, Even if it's just like imagining, like look at this girl meditating. Again, you wouldn't think like just watching someone sit there meditating, you wouldn't pin creativity with it. But you know, in that state, often we're dreaming, we need to create the new energy. So what does it look like? Like paint a world of colors and nature and just it's interesting because I think I just noticed in behind her is the owl, the wisdom, right? And the light coming on. Yeah, there's something. Oh, and that person has a feather too. So there's just yeah, and the dolphins are in there. Yeah, it's big. It's like it's like dream and dream big and like create crystal cities in the skies in your dreams or whatever you're doing, your daydreams. I don't like to call them daydreams when we're meditating. I think they're more like creation moments. So be taking those times. It's really important right now. Um, we also got the animals card. It's funny. I we talked about telepathy and things like that, but it's funny. Like it's almost like my dog has become way more, not just barking, but sometimes whining and crying and but just because he wants something, right? And it's almost like for lack of a better term, it's like he's trying to speak, but he just can't speak English. Poor guy. Um, so it's like pay attention to the animals, especially as we head into spring here in the northern hemisphere. Um, yeah, there's just lots, and I've noticed too, like a lot of like of the what we call the harbinger animals around. So like bringing messages like robins, cardinals, those like there's really a lot more activity picking up. So really pay attention to them. Yeah, honor the animal kingdom. Also, yeah, that's another big thing too. Is from the whales to the yeah, from the whales to everything. Okay, we also got the group consciousness, embrace oneness. This is again like all of, if you look, each individual being, person, light body is aligned in their chakras. It's funny because I think they're kind of like mixed up a bit, but their energy is aligned. And so then that, when you've worked on yours and keeping it in alignment in the highest vibration, we connect to everyone else and we're all one. It's the flower of life, right? So it's again, we're starting to activate these things. So it's really important that we're doing the work. I hate to say it. The other card we got is the children, the new children. Be all you can. It's like, I mean, this is the thing with like even the telepathy tapes, right? These kids are off the charts. Like they're coming in with everything that they need to know. We have to work a little harder to open this, to find those gifts and be the high priestess and the magic and remember who we truly are. They get to come in. They already know. They're just like, I'm good. Like we're ready to go. Like as soon as we're, as the call comes in from the universe, they're wide open and ready to just like flourish. Yeah, we are a little denser, and that's not calling anybody stupid, but we're denser in our beliefs and our body, and so we have to work a little harder to get there. And the only way to reveal your royal self is to be doing, tuning in, dreaming, envisioning. The children came up a couple times, so like we've got to look at it from that innocent, like, because I think a lot of times we're like, well, that could never happen because, we have a million becauses on this planet. I don't have any money. Nobody would ever go for that. People are just sticking their heads in the sand. There's like, but, right? We have to come at it as a pure, beautiful, creative project and just go for it. Like, just go for it. Um, yeah, that creativity card is probably the best. It's interesting though, because I laugh because we, oh, I lost it now. That's funny. Anyway, be creative. I totally lost it. That's hilarious. Oh, there it is. Okay. How'd that get so buried? Okay. Yeah. It's just like tune in and dream. Dream big, create worlds, like create things, you know, that you may never have ever thought about. We need to start playing with the energy in our minds and our souls um again, our best way and our only tool for that right now is vibrationally, like raising vibration through meditation and prayer. And even like things like journaling, like don't discount those. They're a good way, or vision boarding or drawing new earth or whatever you want to do. But just be we it's just critical that it's coming up for this week, that it's really important that we are doing this work. So we're going to leave that read there for today, and I will pick up the end of the week, probably Saturday-ish, for the new moon solar eclipse read, and we'll just see where we're at there. But spend your time really focusing and going within this week. That's our best tool to combat it all. And be creative as you can. Dream big, you guys. Okay. Take care of yourselves, and we'll see you next week.